Miss, yeah, excuse me, Miss Rohana.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Moderator, I have start.
Yeah, please, Miss Rohana.
Okay,
The time is yours.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Introduce myself. My name is Rohana. I will present my research entitled Tourism Development Potential of Losari Beach through Revisit Intention Approach in Makassar City. Okay. Starting from background, maritime tourism in Makassar City is very promising considering that Makassar City is located on the southern coast of Sulawesi Island in adjacent to the Makassar Strait. The management and utilization of the Losari Beach environment is faced with several problems, namely the potential for coastal management to become a tourist attraction and the low public awareness of the environment, resources, and regional integration. The next, a very decrease due to the pandemic period. Now, research shows to develop the potential of Makassar as tourist city, especially the Losari Beach area, which is based on revisit intention. Research methods. The method of research used is the method of descriptive research. This research was conducted by describing the potential for the development of each tourist spot and the integration of the Losari Beach area through revisit intention. The data analysis technique the data analysis technique used is descriptive qualitative to find out its development potential. We can see research location. This is a figure with view. Now, for result and discussion, in several reclamation area of Losari Beach, the arrangement of the corridor of plaza of the attraction space does not yet have information or reading media space for visitors about the educational history of South Sulawesi culture. Provision of culture heritage building such as museums, miniature typical regional buildings has not been found in the Losari Beach area. The development of Losari Beach as a tourist landmark for the city of Makassar with a revisit intention approach, of course, must comply with the policy regulation of the Ministry of Tourism. We can see a figure, several place attraction in Losari, and this is of Makassar, Bugis, Mandar, and Plaza. Now, result and discussion. The specific of the form of the question in general are limited to travel recommendation and revisit in the following moment. We can see the table, revisit intention assessment, about recommended to family, recommended to a friend, telling positivity, and for about comeback. Now, result and discussion. Another potential tourism attraction for Losari Beach is that is integrated with other tourist areas, such as the existence of the Rotterdam Fortress and the Basinas district. There are various reasons summarized in the research note, including number 1, an available intercity basis. Second point, quite diverse park management. The beauty of the culinary arrangement around Losari Beach has not been arranged neatly. The next, media and reading board information still incomplete, which is educational in nature. Various area ornament facilities not maintained, the match. And the next, accessibility of the area still not well organized. And the finish.
Mr. Muhammad Kusnadi. Okay, thank you, Miss Rohana. Yeah, that's a good presentation related to explore tourism spot in Makassar City.
Oke, saya Bu.
Ya, silakan Pak.
Sudah kelihatan ya?
Ya, sudah ada.
Saya perbesar dulu. Oke. Oke, I'm sorry. Myself, I am Jasman Launtu from State Makassar of University. My title is Knowledge, Attitude, and Service Quality Against Behavior Using Public Transportation. In Makassar City, problem of Makassar City public transportation is not only technical, but also the behavior of the people using it. Background, both behavior of people using public transportation isn't optimal and tends to be increasingly abandoned by the community with a minimal of passengers. 2, vehicle is still high. On the other hand, the quality of public transportation service is still low, less human and minimal. 3, public transportation is still not safe and not comfortable in terms of affordability, visibility, convenience, efficiency of travel time, and certainty of travel. Problem formulation, how knowledge, attitudes, and quality of service to the behavior of people using public transportation. Research objects, the research aim to identify and analyze knowledge, attitudes, and quality of service and behavior using public transportation. Research method, qualitative descriptive analysis method, data collection technique, observation and questionnaire, stepwise analysis, and sample random sampling with 105 respondents. Result, gender, the analysis now that the dominant male sex, respondent are of products ranging from 31 until 40 years. The education level of the respondent is Mount Egg High School equivalent. And work at private employers. Respondents' income range from 2 million until 3 million. Fourth is the types of transportation modes used by respondent. The general use private, special, facial, such as private and online vehicle. Result, behavior moderate, knowledge moderate, attitude moderate, but low frequency, service quality is moderate. Discussion, behavior using public transportation. The behavior of people using public transportation is at a moderate level. The result of the stepwise analysis show that people behavior using public transportation makes a positive contribution that has a significant real effect. To improve people behavior using public transportation, it can be improved through coaching, focus group discussion, outreach, and social dissemination by increasing the quality of life and practical, safe and comfortable social feasibility, economic feasibility that are efficient, affordable, and fuel efficient, as well as aspect are ecological, feasibly, less polluting, and environmental friendly. Knowledge of public transportation on behavior using public transportation, the level at moderate. The stepwise results show that the three variable simulant have a very significant influence on variable, having a strong correlation of 0.835 with a coefficient of determination of 0.697. People knowledge about public transportation needs to be fostered and improved in a systematic and structural manner through certain approach, including through training, which give a lot of nuance of memory, forming insight, listening to lecture, reading a lot of information, but from books and the internet, and sharing knowledge to keep abreast of news development on the importance of public transportation. The frequency distribution people attitude towards the use of public transportation on average is in medium category. The stepwise results show that the two predictors together have a very significant effect on variable with strong correlation 0.817 and R square determination 0.668. Pupil attitude toward public transportation can be improved through coaching with a certain approach, including through courses and training in which there are many moral, nuance, and a sense of responsibility, experience preferred as public transportation, as well as the encouragement of other people who are considered important or influential, the incessant information media, use of public transportation, and the role of educational institution and non-formal institution, socialist as public transportation. And quality of public transportation service on behavior using public transportation, the frequency distribution of the quality of public transportation service is in the medium category. The stepwise results show that one variable has a very significant effect on variable, having a strong correlation of 0.744y, confident of determination 0.668. The quality of public transportation service need to be optimized, and the community is given within stroke workshop and training to improve the perception of the quality of public transportation service to get better, and the ability of public transportation service provider to provide service in human, accurate, and reliable manner, paying attention to aspects of accuracy, regularity, speed, fun, affordability, and community satisfaction as user. Conclusion: 1. The result shows that people behavior using sustainable urban public transportation was at a moderate level. Number 2, the average knowledge and quality of service on average were in the moderate category, while the attitude and was in the moderate category, but the frequency was low. Number 3, quality of service is the dominant factor influencing the behavior of using public transportation. Thank you. Finish.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jasman Launtu, it's really good information to all related to the knowledge, attitude, and service quality to behavior using public transportation. So it gives us overview related to the how the quality of transportation right now, and I feel we still need to develop our public transportation based on the information provided to Mr. Jasman. Okay, thank you,
Thank you very much,
Mr.
Ms.
Jasman.
Andi Asmawati.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Mr. for the presentation. Now we move to the second presenter, Mr. Muhammad Ihsan.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I also want to express my gratitude to Muhammad Ihsan for giving the chance to the Mr. Jasman to be the second presenter. Okay, now the slide is in our screen right now. So I would like to invite Mr. Muhammad Ihsan to present related to the consumption comparison in Islamic and conventional perspective. Okay, the screen is yours, please.
Okay, all right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before, thank you very much for the Ibu Andi Asmawati as Master of Ceremony of this conference. And then I'm Ihsan Baso. I'm doctoral student program of Alauddin State Islamic University, Makassar. Yeah. The title of this paper is Consumption Comparison in Islamic and Conventional Perspective. Okay, the abstract of this paper, today's human nature is strongly influenced by the progress of civilization, especially the influence of the digitalization era, which directly affect human behavior, especially in consuming product. The consumptive nature seems to be a culture of urban society, which tends to exacerbate the israf. The ability to sort out needs and desires is certainly a solution that can solve this israf problem. Islamic studies on consumption are very important so that someone is careful in using wealth or spending wealth. So the most important thing in this case is the method of use, which should lead to option or preferences that contain benefit and maslahah, so that the wealth is utilized in a way that is ma'ruf for the prosperity and benefit of individuals, society, and the people as well. Through the method used in this study is a qualitative method, namely by comprehensively examining phenomena originating from literature, journals, and other valid sources. The purpose of this study, apart from increasing knowledge in Islamic economic, and also to find out and clarify the comparative theory of consumption in Islamic economic and conventional economic, as well as to study the problems of the both. The value obtained in Islamic consumption, Muslim will get more satisfaction when consuming halal goods compared to unlawful goods. In contrast to conventional consumption theory, which doesn't regulate the law of halal haram goods or services. In Islamic consumption theory, a Muslim doesn't only manage worldly needs but also aims to achieve falah, glory and victory in life. Individuals should be wise in consuming all needs by paying attention to priorities, setting aside infaq, sedekah, and consuming halal goods to achieve the pleasure of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And then introduction of this paper is in conventional economic, consumers are assumed to always aim to obtain satisfaction or utility in their consumption activities. Utility literally means useful, helpful, or advantageous. In economic context, utility is defined as the use of goods that are felt as a sense of being healthy from a difficulty to consume these goods. Because of this feeling, utility is often interpreted as a sense of satisfaction or satisfaction felt by the consumer in consuming an item. Consumption behavior like the one above cannot be taken for granted in Islamic economic. Islam has regulated everything related the economy, and one of them is the way of fulfilling needs by way of consumption itself. Islamic economic doesn't only seek profit in all its activities, but also seeks an expert the blessing and pleasure of the Creator, accepting our guidance in the hereafter. And of course, the behavior of helping one another and considering maslahah rather than utility. Achieving maslahah is a goal of Islamic law. Uh, we can say maqasid syariah, which is, of course must be the goal of consumption activities. The activity of consuming goods and services at any time, whether to consideration of maslahah, whether they consume what is desired or needed, satisfying, useful, or high quality, whether paying attention to lawful and unlawful things or not. The tendency of person to consume an item or service that is happening of at this time priorities more desire and a sense of satisfaction with the item or services. The Islamic economic system is economic that is carried out in daily practice, implementation of economic for individuals, families, community group, and government in order to organize factors of production, distribution, and utilization of goods and services produced subject to regulation or legislation Islam or Sunnatullah, where Islamic economic is a study of the economic behavior of Muslim who represent modern Muslim society. According to Imam Ghazali, the welfare or maslahah of society depend on the research for the maintenance of 5 basic goals, including religion, ad-din, life or soul or an-nafs, family or inspiring or anas, property of wealth or mal, intellect or reason or akal. He emphasized that according to the guidance of revelation, the good of this world and the hereafter, maslahah ad-din wa dunya. Next, maslahah according to language means benefit. In explaining consumption, we assume that consumer tend to choose goods and services that provide maximum maslahah. And then what is the method of this favor? The research method is a description of the process that researcher goes through, starting from collecting, analyzing, and concluding what will be included in this research, so that the finding can be obtained as expected. The method used by researchers in this research is the library research method, with a qualitative research method. And then result and discussion in defining consumption, there are differences among economic, but consumption is generally defined by the use of goods and services to meet human needs. In Islamic economic, consumption also has the same meaning, but has differences in everything that surround it. In Islamic economic, consumption is considered as an means that a Muslim cannot ignore in relation the goal desired by Allah in creating of human being, namely realizing for division only. Allah says, "Wa ma khalaqtul jinna wal insa illa liya'budun." Next, Islam obliges human to consume what can avoid self-destruction and is able to carry out the obligation imposed of them by Allah. Number one, there is a needs or hajat. And then the second is usefulness or satisfaction benefit. What is the difference between Islamic economic theory and conventional economic theory? From Islamic economic consumption view, there is sources from the argument aiming to get maslahah, have the principle of justice. There is the level of satisfaction. This is from Islamic economic consumption view. From conventional economic consumption view, then number one is based on the behavior of individuals that actual occurs in every economic unit, and because their thinking is more dominated by two-word understanding force, and the second tends to be value free. Okay, what is the conclusion of this paper? The principle of consumption, according to Islamic economic, in meeting needs in human life, needs dominate more than wants. This matter clearly different from modern economic, which is only concerned with just materialistic. In terms of consumption, Islamic provision regarding consumption is controlled by five principles, namely fairness, cleanliness, simplicity, generosity, and morality. Next is term of needs. There are three parts of human needs: necessities, pleasure, and luxuries. Meanwhile, in the nature of behavior, consumer in Islamic society are strictly demanded with prohibitions such as eating pork, drinking liquor, and etc. Islamic prohibition regarding food and drink seen as a part of an attempt to improve the nature of behavior consumer. Maybe that's my presentation. Maybe uh, I can
Well,
stop my slide. Thank you very much for the time, Ibu Andi Asmawati.
well,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you to Mr. Muhammad Ihsan for delivering such an interesting information relating to the consumption comparison in Islamic and conventional perspective. So it's a good information to me that it's related to the our needs, but sometimes in conventional perspectives it's more of our wants. So there is a difference between needs and wants. Okay, thank you to Mr. Muhammad Ihsan to give us information. And as reminder to the all presenters or audience in this room, please fill the form provided in the meeting chat in your Zoom. It is an evaluation of our event in this international conference. So thank you for the all presenters. If you have fill the G form of the evaluation provided by our facilitator Muhammad Haidir Akbar in the chat meeting. And the next presenter, I would like to invite the four people from the team presenters, Mr. Muhammad Kusnadi and teams. So Mr. Muhammad Kusnadi, Sirajuddin, and Sabar Daham.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kusnadi.
Yes, thank you very much for the host of conference today to give me a chance. I would like to present my my article. The title is Effectiveness Analysis of Zakat Distribution in Basnas Baru District. Okay, the first introduction of this paper. Why must the zakat distribution in Baru be effective? One of the causes of poverty is due to the non-creation of an equitable distribution of income. In the practice of capitalist economics that dominates the world today, it creates social injustice in the whole country and its peoples. An answer of the above problem is to apply distribution in Islam concept, because the Islamic economic system is a system that in its implementation places great emphasis on a system that is just and upholds honesty and welfare. In 2020, Basnas of Baru Regency managed to become the most collecting zakat in the province of South Sulawesi, amounting to 23.5 billion Indonesian rupiahs, but distribute only 59.5%. Basnas Baru got many awards. In 2018, Basnas Baru Regency won the Zakat Award, charter at the Best Zakat Collection Road. Then in 2020, Basnas Baru received 2 Zakat Award nominations, namely the Best Basnas Branding category and the Best Zakat Campaign nomination held by the Central Basnas. The methods of the research in this research is qualitative file research. What this research seeks to learn is the action and behaviors of the Basnas of Baru Regency in its natural context of distributing zakat. The qualitative approach with a descriptive method. What this research seeks to learn is the action of behaviors of the Basnas of Baru Regency in its natural context of distributing zakat. The informant in this research consists of Vice Chairman of Basnas, Chairman of BPD Desa Lawalu, Mustahik, and public figure. Then results. I use the theory of Kurniawan to analyze the effective of the zakat distributing in Basnas. Effectiveness is a measure that states how far the target quantity, quality, and time has been achieved, where the greater the percentage of targets achieved, the higher the effectiveness. And there are 4 effective criteria of measures, namely 1, clarity of goals to be achieved, 2, clarity of strategy for achieving goals. It is known that strategy is on the path that is followed in making various efforts in achieving the specific goals so that implementers do not get lost in achieving organizational goals. 3, an educational system of supervision and control given the imperfect nature of human nature. The effectiveness of the organization demands the existence of a system of supervision and control. 4, job satisfaction, the level of feeling of the consumer after comparing between what he received and his expectation. If you are satisfied with the value profit by the product or service, it is very likely to become a customer for a long time. Okay, then we break down in 4. Number 1 is target accuracy. This is Musaki and Mustahik, the data collection. And then Basnas Baru give Mustahik cards to identify accurate of Mustahik. And then Basnas of Baru establishing Basnas Active Service. This is a volunteer to distributing zakat. And the second, the strategy, Basnas Baru has many programs like Baru Sejahtera, Baru Cerdas, Baru Sehat, Baru Peduli, and the latest one is program Mustahik Rights Reservation. The third, monitoring and controlling. A supervisory commission as an internal audit unit that carries out supervision distributed by Basnas Active Service and assisted by TNI and the chairman of Basnas. And fourth, quality, quantity, and job satisfaction. The quantity, the quality of quantity and quality of the zakat distributing in Basnas Baru are for the fakir, Basnas Baru distribute 750,000 rupiahs per year for the fakir, and 500,000 rupiahs per person for miskin for a year, with more than 7,000 mustahik. And then Basnas Baru has a funeral assistant worth 1,500 rupiahs for fakir, and 1 million for miskin in 2021. Okay, discussion for target accuracy or mustahik determination. Mustahik data that has not been touched by the local government assistance program is then matched with the mustahik data recommendation provided by the village or kelurahan government. And to ensure that the mustahik database is really valid, the Baru Regency Basnas volunteer in each village verify directly to the mustahik address to ensure the correctness of the mustahik name and address data and the condition of the income and asset he has. Looking at the step taken in determining mustahik by the Basnas of Baru Regency, it can be believed that the target of mustahik for the distribution of zakat has been effective. Data collection errors such as double data, as well as a change in the status of mustahik to musaki, for example, can be avoided, especially because of the direct involvement of volunteers and even elements of Basnas leader in distribution zakat. For strategy, the strategy for the distribution of zakat in Baru Regency by Basnas to truly meet the needs of mustahik is carried out by making specific programs in accordance with what is the solution to the problems faced by mustahik. For example, the Baru Sejahtera program is intended for mustahiks who have small and medium-sized business. So have every program for every aspect of the problem, such as health, education, religious, and economic. And then monitoring and controlling for zakat distribution control. Supervision of the distributing of zakat by Basnas in Baru Regency is considered effective. This is based on the reason that the zakat distribute is escorted by Basnas Baru volunteers, called Basnas Active Service. It is this LEB that is involved from the beginning to verify the mustahik data based directly at the mustahik address Then, at the time of distribution, these volunteers were again directly involved in the distribution in collaboration with local village or village government officials. For quality, quantity, and job satisfaction, Basnas of Baru Regency in the distribution of zakat can be said to have met the dimension of service quality above. In terms of providing assistance, it is very easy for Mustahik to receive it. Mustahik simply comes to the village office or kelurahan with a Mustahik card and showing that has been distributed. Even that the Mustahik doesn't have the ability to pick up at the village office due to physical limitation or other obstacles, LAB volunteers will deliver directly to the Mustahik house. Basnas of Baru district also organize programs that directly interact with various types of realities of the problem. But in terms of quantity, Basnas Baru has a little problem. Yeah. What needs attention from Basnas is that the realization of distribution must be improved. Yeah. In this case, Basnas is indeed right to be careful in distributing, especially with the many cases of productive zakat that are not on target in their use by Mustahik. However, perhaps Basnas Baru can find alternatives so that the distribution of zakat can be maximized from the quantity spec. One of them is probably by exporting the surplus zakat that has been distributed in Baru Regency to other deficit areas. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you to Mr. Muhammad Kusnadi for delivering such an informative related to the effectiveness analysis of zakat distribution in Basnas Baru district. So this presentation provides information to us related to the how the Basnas in Baru provide the zakat to the people. So it give us information that the Basnas have several awards, based on the presentation from Mr. Muhammad Kusnadi. Well, thank you, Mr. Muhammad Kusnadi. And the next, I would like to invite the next presenter, Mr. Muhammad Rifai and teams.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad Rifai. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Dear participant, chair the committee in this conference. Firstly, thank you very much for this chance has given me to present my article in this international conference. The title of my article, Building the Sign of Social Security System and Social Justice in Islamic Economic Principle. I will to screens. This article purports to explain about social security system and social justice in Islamic economic perception by using review literature. This article explaining Islamic social security. This article is conclusion so that the sign of social security system law: first, security of individual; two, personality and family security; three, personality and society; four, society in this country; Therefore, contraction of social security system in Islamic economic to explain so that security are many kind if social security can achieved by individual, therefore enact at individual level if it can achieve in individual level, can do it in family level, if can't do it in family level, can do it in society level. If can't do it in society level, to become duty of government in our country to do it. Keyword, contraction, system, social, security, Islamic economy. The next, introduction. The purine is a problem. The purine is a problem in each country. A purine that is absolute purine and the purine that necessary to get solution. Because of don't get solution can be social problem in this country. This problem can be stop economic activity. Al-Garhawi explained Islamic perception does not someone to live on Islamic society as a few people cannot get something to eat, no use shirt and no have a home on Islamic economic to afford and control the cause of that incorrect. Al-Garhawi 2022, he said, then in order to protect of Aqidah, Ahlak, and action, to care of home living, and to protect social living stabilization. Therefore, purine problem as this top of risk for future and this country can be seriously by government and aim of society level. Islamic is knowledge to religion have tell some do enter for human as universality are below what happiness and akhirat happiness. But the fact not all of society can get happiness as like it. Speaking about happiness in Islamic have relation with about social security. In capitalism, economic social security is not explained but the system only at individual freedom, at individual asset until how to using all of asset. A purine is a problem in each country as like absolute purine and relative purine. They need problem solving because will be disturb economic activity. The next method, this receipt by using description method or qualitative method. At this receipt, research use the study and library study about purine and social living problem. This receipt with now about the influence of social security to role of purine and how to increase the human living special best needing in daily life. This article give information about comparative between Islamic economic principle with other economic system as like capitalism economic system, so that social security not explain the system. Only thing about full free of individual include how to get something and how to use that. Next result, social security include two words below, security and social. The security is permission from loan is received of something from other who have duty to give to several social problems. As like the government have responsibility for to solve each social problem include a purine problem in our country. Monica Guisser cited no definition to contribute about global society security, but social security is all quantity of social value is built for protection future life of individual or society and given protection or comprehensive protection from risk is adjacent accident can disturb economic activity until decreasing living effort. Include them get effect from this problem. Incorrect research in 1995. Therefore, Purwoko say that social security concept is protecting schema to make protect action special for society who have an income with risk and accident as like sick, accident, death and stop of the job. Incorrect, Purwoko 2010. Based on the contraction social security system in Islamic economic, that is individual security, family security, and country security. The first, individual security. This security to pressure all of individual to responsibility to ourselves through do some good activity. Therefore, individual security support all of individual to effort and have motivation to work.
Okay, Pak Muhammad Rifai, I'm sorry for interrupting you. You only have 3 minutes left.
Oh yeah, okay. We can to conclusion, yeah.
Yeah,
Based on
thank you.
article study can understand the social security is very important in daily life in order a solution for appearance. Therefore, someone must diligent to work in order to get a good living. Social security can build a system of security begin individual security until country security. This article give recommendation how to build the social security and guidance for daily life. Okay, I think this is all my percentage for the article. Thank you very much for this time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to Mr. Muhammad Rifai for giving an information related to financial management, yeah. Financial management, and we have to have security system in our financial management. Okay, thank you. And now we move to the next presenter, Mr. Misbahuddin.
Okay. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
For the first time, I would like to say many thanks to our moderator, Ibu Andi Asmawati, who have given me a chance to present my paper today. Okay, I'm so sorry because I'm very late to know this seminar, so my paper is very late. Okay, excuse me, Miss Andi Asmawati, allow me to speak Indonesia.
Okay. It's okay.
Baik, Bapak Ibu sekalian yang saya hormati, saya langsung saja, saya tidak perlu lama-lama membacakan latar belakang, metodologi dan sebagainya, karena itu adalah formalitas, meskipun saya tahu penting juga, tapi saya langsung saja membacakan hasil penelitian saya yang berjudul Bisnis E-commerce melalui internet dalam perspektif Islam di Makassar. Hasil penelitian ini menunjukkan bahwa bisnis e-commerce melalui internet begitu pesat saat ini. E-commerce merupakan suatu sistem yang dibangun dengan tujuan untuk meningkatkan efisien dan efektivitas dalam berbisnis. Dengan memanfaatkan teknologi informasi untuk meningkatkan kualitas produk atau servis dan informasi serta mengurangi biaya-biaya yang tidak diperlukan, sehingga harga dari produk dan informasi tersebut dapat ditekan sedemikian rupa tanpa mengurangi kualitas yang ada. Proses pelaksanaan e-commerce di Kota Makassar telah berjalan sesuai dengan dinamika dan perkembangan teknologi IT saat ini. Terdapat sejumlah alasan mengapa masyarakat Makassar termotivasi untuk melakukan transaksi bisnis e-commerce melalui internet. Karena bisnis ini merupakan atau memberikan banyak manfaat dan kemudahan. Antara lain, pertama, efisien, hemat, singkat, terjangkau. 2, tanpa batas, tidak mengenal tanpa batas negara, benua, dan samudra. 3, terbuka 24 jam, pengguna dapat melakukan transaksi kapan saja, waktu yang diinginkan selama tersedia jaringan internet. Yang keempat, terjadi komunikasi 2 arah. Yang kelima, terjalin dalam sekejap. 6, tanpa perlu izin kepada pemerintah. 7, tanpa sensor, sementara proses atau sistem transaksi e-commerce melalui internet menggunakan sistem order dengan order, phone, order dengan email, dan sistem order dengan telepon. Mengenai objek atau jenis transaksi yang sering diminati oleh pengguna e-commerce di Makassar adalah berupa barang, jasa, dan informasi. Dan banyak lagi yang berbeda. Sementara proses pembayaran yang sering digunakan oleh pengguna e-commerce di Makassar adalah menggunakan rekening by rekening, kartu kredit, digital cash, dan lain-lain. Dalam hal pelayanan keamanan dalam bertransaksi melalui internet, mereka pada umumnya menyatakan aman selama ada kehati-hatian dan pintar menyeleksi toko-toko online yang terpercaya. Sejumlah informan mengaku pernah mengalami kegagalan dengan alasan karena mereka belum memahami sistem transaksi e-commerce. Setelah mereka memahami, tidak mengalami lagi kegagalan, ada yang tertipu melalui Facebook, Twitter, dan media sosial lainnya, atau jaringan sosial lainnya yang digunakan untuk menjalin pertemanan di seluruh dunia yang bukan diciptakan untuk bisnis e-commerce atau transaksi elektronik commerce. Dari proses rangkaian implementasi atau pelaksana transaksi e-commerce melalui internet, penulis berijtihad bahwa bisnis e-commerce atau elektronik commerce tidak bertentangan dengan hukum Islam karena dapat memenuhi rukun dan syarat jual beli yang terdapat pada sistem perjanjian akad yang sah dalam hukum Islam. Hal ini dapat dibuktikan dengan mengadakan analisis terhadap unsur-unsur yang membentuk akad jual beli dalam e-commerce, yaitu sigot, formulasi akad, yang substansinya adalah pernyataan kehendak, yaitu perizinan dalam hal ini disampaikan dengan tulisan, baik pelaku maupun baik dalam hal ini subjek pembeli dan penjual. Pihak-pihak yang terlibat di dalamnya adalah pihak yang berkompeten dalam melaksanakan akad minimal berada pada periode tamyiz atau dewasa. Objek transaksi halal selama klausa yang menjadi alat bayar dan komoditi yang dibeli halal secara syar'i. Secara syar'i, begitu pula tujuan akadnya halal, yaitu memindahkan hak milik atas barang dengan imbalan jual beli. Dari sejumlah prosedur dari pelaksanaan penelitian e-commerce di Kota Makassar, didukung dengan data-data yang penulis temukan, jika dikaitkan dengan perspektif hukum Islam, dengan dikaitkan dengan syarat dan rukun jual beli yang ditetapkan dalam hukum perikatan Islam, yang berdasarkan pada teori yang dikemukakan para pakar hukum Islam, diantaranya Syatibi dalam teori Maqasid al-Syariah, Ibnu Qayyim al-Jauzi dalam teori perubahannya, Al-Ghazali dalam teori maslahah musalah, dan Lawrence dengan teori perubahannya. Dengan kata lain, karena e-commerce tidak ada pada masa Nabi, sahabat dan tabi'in, adanya pada saat sekarang ini, maka penulis berijtihad untuk menetapkan, mengistimbatkan rumusan hukum e-commerce, bahwa e-commerce adalah halal atau diperbolehkan menurut perikatan hukum Islam, karena tidak ada dalil yang menunjukkan keharamannya. Bahkan e-commerce bisa dipandang sunnah apabila memenuhi syarat dan rukun jual beli. Yang kedua, e-commerce hukumnya haram jika bertentangan dengan nilai-nilai normatif Al-Quran dan Sunnah, nilai moral dan nilai sosial, seperti transaksi seks, judi online, narkoba, game yang mengumbar hawa nafsu, dan sejenisnya. Pada intinya, sebenarnya yang dilarang ini terpenuhi rukun dan jual belinya, syarat-syarat jual belinya, rukunnya terpenuhi, syaratnya terpenuhi, tetapi karena dilarang dalam agama, maka dia pun tetap haram meskipun memenuhi rukun jual beli. Saya kira ini yang bisa saya sampaikan dalam kesempatan ini dan mohon maaf karena saya tidak dalam bahasa Inggris karena sangat terbatas waktu saya mengetahui mengetahui waktu seminar internasional ini. Terima kasih, saya kembalikan kepada Ibu Andi Asmawati. Sekian, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to Mr. Misbahuddin for giving us information that business in e-commerce, according to the Islamic perspective, we can do the business e-commerce. But however, there is an exception if we cannot do the business e-commerce if the thing the transport prohibited things in Islamic perspective. Okay, thank you to Mr. Misbahuddin.
Okay.
Well, we move to the last presentation, Ms. Rina Hafsari and team. Ms. Rina Hafsari and team. Rina Hafsari.
Jadi sama siapa? Dia sekretaris Pak Mahmudin dibawain.
Oke.
Ini Mijua Pak Mustafa.
Iya, Oke, Ms. Rina Hafsari.
Baik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to give presentation of my paper with title of investment behavior, heuristic and investment and intervening variable for investor in Makassar. Before I begin to give the presentation, I would like ask permission to speak with Bahasa Indonesia.
It's okay. You may use bahasa. Presentation, please.
Itu sebetulnya didapat dari rangkaian aplikasi internasional namanya ABIT 21.
Baik, perilaku manusia seringkali menimbulkan pertanyaan karena manusia sebagai makhluk hidup yang diberikan akal dan perasaan berperilaku tidak konsisten dalam menghadapi berbagai macam persoalan sehingga menghasilkan berbagai macam alternatif solusi pengambilan keputusan yang beragam dalam menghadapi persoalan yang sama.
Itu ada setiap sebulan itu 2 kali kita ketemuan, tapi kan ada
berkaitan dengan pengambilan keputusan dalam perilaku keuangan, maka heuristik penting untuk dipahami. Pengambilan keputusan secara cepat kadang tidak dilengkapi informasi yang cukup, sering membuat pelaku pasar mengalami kerugian. Dalam ilmu keuangan, perilaku ini disebut dengan heuristik. Heuristik sendiri adalah cara berpikir seseorang dalam menyelesaikan suatu masalah atau memecahkan masalah dengan cara mencari, menemukan, mengumpulkan sumber-sumber berbagai data terkait di kejadian masa lalu atau peristiwa berhubungan dengan masalah yang dihadapi. Heuristik sendiri ini biasa terjadi karena sebagian besar orang mengendalikan aturan praktis atau bisa dikatakan dengan rules of thumb dalam mengambil keputusan. Nah, proses dalam pengambilan keputusan juga informasinya terbatas, lebih banyak mengandalkan pengalaman ditambah intuisi secukupnya, terkadang tidak akurat dan menyebabkan gambling terhadap keputusan investasi, cenderung memilih saham berdasarkan berita ataupun rumor yang beredar yang sifatnya spekulatif dan sering berperilaku tidak rasional dalam membuat keputusan investasi. Nah, pembahasan tentang perilaku heuristik dan perilaku investasi dalam pengambilan keputusan investasi masih belum begitu dilakukan, khususnya di Kota Makassar. Baik, berdasarkan fenomena dan urgensi penelitian yang telah saya sampaikan tadi, maka dapat disimpulkan dengan rumusan masalah. Yang pertama adalah apakah heuristik berpengaruh signifikan terhadap perilaku investasi saham. Yang kedua, apakah heuristik berpengaruh signifikan terhadap etika investasi. Yang ketiga, apakah etika investasi berpengaruh signifikan terhadap perilaku investasi saham. Dan yang keempat, apakah heuristik berpengaruh signifikan terhadap perilaku investasi melalui etika investasi.
Tapi kan ada
Berdasarkan rumusan masalah yang telah saya sebutkan, saya dapat mengajukan hipotesis sebagai berikut. Yang pertama, bahwa diduga heuristik berpengaruh signifikan terhadap keputusan investasi.
Bakal bilang lalu ya, kemana pertanyaan pertamanya ada mitigasi yang Edita.
Karena aku kasih itu, aku kali penyakit tadi.
Baik, dalam menguji heuristik terhadap perilaku investasi saham, terdapat penelitian dari Agro pada tahun 2014 mengatakan terdapat hubungan yang signifikan di antara kedua variabel tersebut, di mana perilaku finansial individu selalu menetapkan tingkat utilitas yang berbeda untuk setiap kelompok aset, dan ini memengaruhi keputusan investasi investor dan perilaku lainnya. Nah, hipotesis yang kedua, diduga heuristik berpengaruh signifikan terhadap etika investasi. Dalam menguji heuristik terhadap etika investasi, terdapat penelitian Amy Dugan pada tahun 2020 yang menunjukkan bahwa perilaku keuangan heuristik silence dan mental accounting berpengaruh signifikan terhadap keputusan investasi, sedangkan representativeness tidak signifikan terhadap keputusan investasi, dan investasi etis mampu memediasi perilaku keuangan terhadap keputusan investasi. Hipotesis yang ketiga, diduga etika investasi berpengaruh signifikan terhadap keputusan investasi saham. Dalam menguji etika investasi terhadap perilaku investasi saham, terdapat penelitian yang mengatakan bahwa investor individu di Indonesia telah memulai mempertimbangkan aspek fundamental moral dan dalam perilaku investasi dan aspek finansial. Selanjutnya, hipotesis keempat mengatakan diduga heuristik berpengaruh signifikan terhadap keputusan investasi melalui etika investasi. Dalam menguji heuristik terhadap keputusan investasi melalui etika investasi, terdapat penelitian Gosali pada tahun 2015 yang mengatakan bahwa perilaku heuristik berpengaruh signifikan terhadap keputusan investasi.
Punya organisasi dapat hibah dari USA sehingga mendatangkan ini.
Selanjutnya ada pun manfaat.
Ada satu yang lulus itu si Nur tadi tapi belum kami minta.
Selanjutnya ada pun tujuan dan manfaat penelitian. Tujuan yang pertama adalah untuk mengetahui apakah heuristik berpengaruh signifikan terhadap perilaku investasi saham. Yang kedua, untuk mengetahui apakah heuristik berpengaruh signifikan terhadap etika investasi. Yang ketiga, untuk mengetahui apakah etika investasi berpengaruh signifikan terhadap perilaku investasi saham. Dan keempat, untuk mengetahui apakah heuristik berpengaruh signifikan terhadap perilaku investasi melalui etika investasi. Adapun manfaatnya dari segi akademis, hasil penelitian ini diharapkan menjadi referensi rujukan atau menjadi informasi dalam mendukung penelitian selanjutnya mengenai hal yang terkait. Untuk investor, hasil penelitian ini diharapkan menjadi revisi keyakinan dan meningkatkan keimanan dan pertimbangan aspek-aspek dalam berinvestasi saham yang sesuai dengan etika investasi.
I'm sorry for interrupting, Miss Rina Hapsari. You only have 3 minutes left for this presentation. Miss Rina, you only have 3 minutes left. 3 menit.
Urusnya sama ini toh, ininya, terus ini jadwalnya.
Baik, saya percepat.
Ya, ini kan dengan orang apa ini dia kalau nggak salah?
Langsung saja ke hasil penelitian ya, Bu.
Karena ini kan biasanya kalau pakai HP, jadi ini, dia stafnya ini si Wulan ini yang mengaku mobilnya ada 2 jejak kebetulan bareng dengan prodi sastra bahasa Inggris juga, bahasa Inggris dengan sastra, dua-duanya itu. Ini
baik, langsung saja pada pembahasan hasil penelitian. Berdasarkan hasil penelitian yang dilakukan, ditemukan bahwa heuristik berpengaruh terhadap investasi.
Kalau yang layanan akses layanan mahasiswa?
Akses layanan mahasiswa itu lewat website, kemudian lewat email juga. Waktu di pandemi ya, terus ya kita ini sekarang itu kalau dulu online, semua transkrip lewat online. Terus juga bisa
Maksudnya hal
ada
ini
di sini ada beberapa kayak
mengungkapkan bahwa semakin tinggi
ini yang
sikap
tadi
atau
yang tadi
karakteristik
tanya
seorang
tuh,
investor akan
apa
mengaruhi
yang
juga.
dilakukan ini penguatan kompetensi biasanya operasional ini ada. Ini ada yang konsentrasi pemasaran, ini juga ada.
Yang
Ini
kedua adalah
keuangan juga ada.
pengaruh heuristik terhadap
Jadi setiap,
etika investasi. Nah,
ininya
merujuk
lain.
pada hasil
Jadi
penelitian,
lain
variabel
kuliah,
heuristik
lain
secara
kalau
empiris
seminar
ternyata
yang
berpengaruh terhadap
semester
etika
lain,
investasi.
ini juga
Nah,
lain.
heuristik
Tapi ini
sendiri adalah
diadanya
sebagai
pas
rules of
lagi
thumb
mahasiswa
atau aturan
ngambil
sederhana
paper
yaitu
di
kondisi
konsentrasi.
orang dalam membuat
Jadi
keputusan di saat yang rumit di lingkungan yang tidak
Jadi
pasti.
mendampingi itu.
Selanjutnya pembahasan
Contoh yang
hasil penelitian yang ketiga.
Apa namanya, mahasiswa dapat pelayanan, misalnya ini kayak contoh toh, internship kalau formulir kembang di sini, di sini, ini, ini di website-nya Febi, mudah-mudahan bisa kebuka.
Dilakukan temukan variabel etika investasi secara empirik berpengaruh terhadap perilaku investasi. Yang keempat, pengaruh yang terhadap perilaku investasi melalui etika investasi sebagai variabel intervening. Nah, dari hasil pengujian telah dilakukan ditemukan hasil penelitian di mana variabel heuristik secara sini ternyata berpengaruh positif terhadap perilaku investasi juga terhadap
Bukan juga begitu, Kak.
investasi.
Mau ikan tidak, ibu kan semu. Kita bersih. Dicabut namanya dia. Ada kompetisi bahwa merupakan yang turut mengaruhi perilaku investasi seseorang. Hal ini mengungkapkan bahwa seseorang tinggi sikap atau perilaku heuristik seorang investor akan mempengaruhi juga perilaku investasi dalam mengambil keputusan investasi. Nah, hasil yang kesimpulan yang kedua, faktor penelitian investasi menunjukkan jika heuristik atau pertimbangan moral memiliki berpengaruh positif terhadap etika investasi. Yang bagian ketiga, hasil penelitian faktor penentu perilaku investasi menunjukkan bahwa etika investasi berpengaruh positif terhadap perilaku investasi. Yang terakhir adalah hasil penelitian faktor penentu perilaku investasi menunjukkan bahwa heuristik berpengaruh signifikan terhadap perilaku investasi melalui etika investasi.
Nah, itu dibiayain oleh
Baik, mungkin itu saja, Ibu.
Suruh mereka mengerti gitu. Begitu berapa bulan mereka
Well, thank you, Ms. Rina Hastari, for giving us information related to heuristic and investment. So, based on this presentation, we have information
iya,
that
tapi dibayar dulu baru
heuristic is very important for the investment if you want to invest to business. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Rina Hastari. So, all of the presenters in this room Makassar has presented their papers, and as a reminder to all of the presenters, I would like to remain to fill in the G form that has been provided from the facilitator. It is a G form related to the evaluation of this event. Yeah, jadi I do hope all the presenters fill in the evaluation G form. And also, I would like to inform to the facilitator to attend our next agenda in this seminar, in this international conference in 1:30 PM atau jam 1:30 ya, Bapak Ibu. I do hope you will come back to this main room to get sharing knowledge and also experience from our speakers, Professor Mahmud Khalid Al Musafir and also Professor Ja'afar in 1:30 PM. And also to the presenters, I would like to say, or I would like to apologize if the process of this presentation or the process of this presentation in this room there is a lag or there is a mistake. So I do apologize to you all because as human beings we all have a lag or we have negative things in everything we do. Okay, Are you still here? Presenter? Okay, so I would like to close our session today, our parallel session. Thank you to your participation and thank you to your presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.